My sweet, sweet boy. Take care of each other.
Manifest is an interestingly original show that has been running for 3 seasons on NBC. Its ability to maintain high ratings speaks to the intricate plotline and many themes that are supernatural in nature. In this video, we're going to do a brief recap of the 3 seasons of the show, and then talk about some facts about the cast that are not as well known. So grab a snack and a drink, and relax as we do an in-depth look at the NBC hit show, Manifest. First off, let's briefly recap Season 1. The show begins with us being introduced to Montego Air Flight 828, which is en route from Jamaica to New York, when they begin to experience nasty turbulence in the air. They land safely, only to find out that over 5 years have passed during the time they were in the air. All of the passengers had been assumed dead by their loved ones on the ground, so they begin trying to re-assimilate to the world, which has aged 5 years, while they haven't aged but a day. The passengers begin to have visions of the future, which they begin to label as callings. These visions usually involve saving the lives of people who find themselves in dangerous situations. The forewarning allows the passengers to save the lives of many other people. Our main characters are Ben and Michaela Stone, a brother and sister who were both on Flight 828. Ben is a professor of mathematics, and Michaela is an NYPD detective. Ben, Michaela, and 18 others follow their callings back to the plane, and it suddenly explodes on the tarmac. The NSA arrives and questions the group about how they knew the plane was going to explode. The group also discovers that a multinational corporation known as Unified Dynamic Systems kidnapped all the passengers who were either not U.S. citizens or had no next of kin. A mysterious figure known as the Major is running tests on these survivors of Flight 828 under a program known as the Singularity Project. Vance, who is the head of the team for the NSA who is investigating the passengers, is close to learning about the Singularity Project when he is killed in an explosion. Another man, whose name is Zeke, gets stuck in a blizzard, and when he emerges, only days have passed for him, but years have passed in the real world. Some bank robbers also kill people in their heist and crash their car into a river. The car is fished out 3 days later, however, there is still a man alive inside, meaning that again, time had passed differently for him than in the world. In the amount of time it took for police to fish the car out, 82 hours, the man drowns on dry land with no water around him. This teaches the group about their death dates, which is calculated by Ben to be June 2nd, 2024, exactly the amount of time they missed while on the airplane. The season ends on a cliffhanger with someone being shot, but we don't know who. Up next, a brief recap of Season 2. In the first episode of Season 2, it is revealed that Zeke had accidentally shot Michaela. Because Michaela has feelings for Zeke, she tells him to run to avoid being arrested. Michaela's ex-boyfriend, who is also a detective with the NYPD, starts spending time in a group known as the Xers. This group organized to harass the survivors of Flight 828. They all hang out in a bar in which Michaela ends up planting a bug to listen to what they're planning. She overhears them talking about kidnapping Zeke, which allows Michaela and Zeke to thwart the plan. A man named Isaiah lures a group of the passengers to a club in which he poisons them with GHB and then burns the club to the ground, attempting to kill them all. Some are burned alive, while others are rescued because a few that did not go had a calling to the scene in order to save them. Zeke has another calling, which leads him to Cal, Ben's son, who is being held hostage by a group of drug dealers. Zeke's death date then passes, which allows Michaela, Zeke, and Ben to discern that by following the callings, they can avoid dying on their death dates. In the final episodes of Season 2, Michaela and Zeke end up getting married, and we see a fisherman pull the tail of Flight 828 out of the water, as if it had broken up in the sky and crash landed. We're left with a cliffhanger, as we don't know what it means that the tail of the plane was found so far away from where it had exploded on the tarmac. And now, a brief recap of Season 3. At the beginning of Season 3, we see Ben and Vance, the man from the NSA, go to Cuba in order to investigate the tail on the plane that was found by the fisherman. Michaela and Zeke travel to Costa Rica for their honeymoon when they experience another calling. This calling takes them to a girl named Angelina, who was another passenger on Flight 828. She's being held captive by her overly religious parents because they think the callings mean that Angelina is possessed. The 3 men who had kidnapped Cal and then were killed by Zeke when they fell into frozen water are shown exiting said water alive and well. This, in addition to the evidence that Flight 828 had actually exploded in the air, reveals that people have specific times in which they are supposed to die, although their death dates can be avoided the way Zeke avoided his. Jace, one of the kidnappers, understands that his death date is only 24 24 hours away. Because of this, he starts out on a murderous killing spree. Jace follows his callings to a house in which Cal is being hidden. The two other kidnappers are also at the house. When the death date arrives, Jace ends up drowning without any water around him, and directly after, a shadowy figure manifests out of his body to claim the lives of the other two kidnappers. This gives everyone involved even more insight into how the death dates work. A mineral is discovered all over every one of the passengers. This same mineral is found on a piece of wood dating back thousands of years. It is determined that the wood was a piece of Noah's Ark, and it was found near the famous site where Noah's Ark had supposedly landed. The earth cracks open, revealing a volcano that has been opened directly under New York City, attempting to swallow the piece of wood. They throw the piece of wood into the volcano, which immediately reverses the destruction and forces the lava back underground. While experiments are being ran on the tail fin of the plane, Cal gets too close to it and touches it, which causes him to suddenly disappear. The group frantically tries to figure out how to get Cal back, and in the ensuing chaos, his mother is killed. An adult version of Cal suddenly appears to hold his dying mom. He whispers to her, "It's okay. I know what we need to do now." Thus concludes the episode, the season, and the show, at least for now, as it has not been picked up for a fourth season just yet. Now, let's briefly talk about some secrets between the cast that are shocking to say the least. One thing that many fans do not know is that unlike many shows set in New York, Manifest shot their show directly on the streets rather than on a set. This creates a much realer atmosphere, allowing the audience to feel that the events are truly taking place on the streets of New York City rather than in some fake representation of it. Another bit of drama regarding the show is that it was canceled after season 3 by NBC. This left showrunner and series creator Jeff Rake disappointed because there was no conclusion to the show. He openly talked about the fact that he felt the audience deserved an ending to the story. He explained in an interview, "I'm devastated by NBC's decision to cancel us. That we've been shut down in the middle is a gut punch to say the least. Hoping to find a new home. You fans deserve an ending to your story. We're trying to find a way to conclude the series. Could take a week, a month, a year, but we're not giving up. You deserve an end to the story." The show would be in limbo for quite some time, until it would eventually be picked up by the streaming giant Netflix for at least one more season consisting of 20 episodes. Fans are thrilled that they'll be able to find some closure in the fact that things will be wrapped up, as season 3 really left on quite a cliffhanger. In conclusion, we hope you enjoyed this in-depth look at the brilliantly original show, Manifest. We will be keeping a keen eye out for the 4th season, and hopefully we'll get a satisfactory conclusion to the complex story. Whether 20 episodes will be enough to wrap it all up, we will see. Thanks for tuning in to our video. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.